All right, we're going to go ahead and start. Today is Friday, March 13th. We're going to start, and on motion, if the committee so desires, since we're missing someone who may be in another committee, if the committee so desires, we can do a motion so that she can vote.
So moved.
No, not yet.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
yeah.
not yet. But thank you. Okay, so the first voting list I'd like to go over is vote list number 11. Actually, instead of number 10, you have before you 10 and 11. I'd like to start with 11.
I don't think we have 11.
I don't have 11.
It's withdrawals. He didn't waste the paper.
We didn't waste the paper, apparently. Okay, so I will read them out if you would like to know what they are. Would you like to know what they are? Yes. Okay, I'll read them out. And I'll read slowly so you can look them up. But they're all withdrawn by the sponsor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, these are all withdrawn by the sponsor. None of these are unfavorables or anything like that. There's no wool here over anyone's eyes.
Move favorable.
I'll read them out. House Bill 605. This is Delegate Addison. Public Safety, Gun Violence Victim Relocation Program Establishment. House Bill 908, Delegate Schmidt. Civil Actions, Failure to Restrict Distribution of Sexual Material Harmful to Minors. House Bill 1031, Delegate Bartlett. Law Enforcement, Use of Force, National Guard Members. House Bill 1036, Delegate Bartlett. Office of the Attorney General, Independent Investigations Division, Federal Law Enforcement, or Immigration Enforcement. House Bill 1266, Delegate Valentine, Criminal Procedure, Victims of Sexual Assault Offenses, Test Kit Submission Requirements. Also withdrawn in JPR. House Bill 1564, Delegate Turner, Public Health, Drugs and Medical Devices Used in Death Sentences Prohibition. Is there a motion?
So move. Move favorable.
Okay, it's been moved in second that we, what is it, consent calendar? That we consent withdrawn on these bills. Is there any discussion? No questions. Okay. Anyone, by consent, is everyone in favor?
Yes.
Okay, all right, we're gonna move on. All right, this one, you should have a vote list. This is vote list number 10. Mind you, this vote list is 2.5 pages long. Okay, so let's get going. House Bill 187, Delegate Taylor.
Move favorable. Second.
Thank you. There's been a motion and a second. Are there any questions, thoughts, concerns? Seeing none, please call the roll. Okay, oops. Thanks. Thank you.
Madam Chair, while we're waiting,
No, let's go ahead while we're waiting.
there was an issue a few years ago with immigration issues and not being able to access to prove that the case has been expunged. I'm assuming that's been resolved so that now we don't have to worry about that with all new expungement bills. So but I just put that out there that we may be hearing about this next year, that we may need to work on it. But I'm, of course, in favor of this bill.
Thank you very much for that comment. Any other comments, thoughts, concerns, questions? Okay, please take the roll.
House Bill 187, Delegate Taylor, Criminal Procedure, Expungement, no finding in case terminated without finding. The Vice Chair. Yes. The Vice Chair votes aye. Delegate Valentine. Delegate Valentine votes aye. Delegate Embry. Delegate Embry votes aye. Delegate Cardin. Delegate Cardin votes aye. Delegate Phillips. Delegate Phillips votes aye. Delegate Congolo. Delegate Congolo votes aye. Delegate Stinnett. Delegate Stinnett votes aye. Delegate Simmons. Delegate Simmons votes aye. Delegate Boucher is absent. Delegate McComas. Yes. Delegate McComas votes yes. Delegate Moreno. Aye. Delegate Moreno votes aye. Delegate Archon is excused. Delegate Taylor. Delegate Taylor votes aye. Delegate Simpson?
Enthusiastically favorable.
Delegate Simpson is enthusiastically favorable. Delegate Mangione? Delegate Mangione votes yes. Delegate Moon? Delegate Moon votes aye. Delegate Conaway? Delegate Conaway votes aye. Delegate Woods is excused. Delegate Williams? Delegate Williams votes yes. Tally is 16-0021. The motion carries.
Thank you very much. We're going to move on to House Bill 310. Delegate Kaufman. Thank you. It has been moved and second. Do we have any questions, thoughts, or concerns? Excuse me. If not, seeing none, please take the roll. There is no amendment in the file. And there is an amendment. Just one moment, please. And members, you all have an amendment packet. Did you all, can you pull those up?
Oh, sure.
So the amendments were sent out to you. So amendment for House 310 is the very first bill in your amendment packet.
Move the amendment.
May I have a second? Okay, so on the amendment, and Claire, is Claire here? Oh, Claire. Okay, can you explain what the amendment does, please, Claire? Thank you. Are there any questions on the amendment? All right, seeing none. All in favor of the amendment, please raise your hand. All right, thank you. It looks like it's unanimous, and I didn't see any opposition. Okay, on the bill as amended.
Move favorable as amended.
Second.
Are there any questions, thoughts, or concerns? Is everybody awake? Okay. All right, just wanted to make sure. All righty. So on the bill as amended, please call the roll.
House Bill 310, Delegate Kaufman, Correctional Services, Restrictive Housing, Individuals with Developmental or Intellectual Disabilities. The Vice Chair. The Vice Chair votes aye. Delegate Valentine. Delegate Valentine votes aye. Delegate Embry. Delegate Embry votes aye. Delegate Cardin. Delegate Cardin votes aye. Delegate Phillips. Delegate Phillips votes aye. Delegate Congolo. Delegate Congolo votes aye. Delegate Stinnett. Delegate Stinnett votes aye. Delegate Simmons. Delegate Simmons votes aye. Delegate Boucher is absent. Delegate McComas.
Yes.
Delegate McComas votes aye. Delegate Moreno. Delegate Moreno votes aye. Delegate Archon is excused. Delegate Taylor. Delegate Taylor votes aye. Delegate Simpson. Delegate Simpson votes aye. Delegate Mangione. Delegate Mangione votes aye. Delegate Moon. Delegate Moon votes aye. Delegate Conaway. Delegate Conaway votes yes and add. Delegate Woods is excused. Delegate Williams. Delegate Woods is excused. Delegate Williams.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out, yes, I'm a yes, I'm totally a yes on Delegate Kaufman. He always introduces great pieces of legislation I want to add.
Delegate Williams is a yes and an add. The final tally is 16-0021. The motion carries.
So if you want to add, can you just raise your hand? Okay, Simpson, Moreno. Okay, there you go.
Oh, got a little
Did you get everybody? Congolo, yes. Congolo, you're, he's already that. No, you're good. Okay, has the entire committee been added? Okay, all right. So we're gonna move now to House Bill 324, Delegate Simpson and Taylor. Is there a motion?
Move favorable.
Second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second for favorable on House Bill 324. Are there any questions, thoughts, or concerns? Seeing none, please call the roll.
House Bill 324, Delegate Simpson, Family Law, Child Support, Assignment of Rights. The Vice Chair. The Vice Chair votes aye. Delegate Valentine. Delegate Valentine votes aye. Delegate Embry. Delegate Embry votes aye. Delegate Cardin. Delegate Cardin votes aye. Delegate Phillips. Delegate Phillips votes aye. Delegate Congolo. Delegate Congolo votes aye. Delegate Stinnett. Delegate Stinnett votes aye. Delegate Simmons. Delegate Simmons votes aye. Delegate Boucher is absent. Delegate McComas. Delegate McComas votes aye. Delegate Moreno. Delegate Moreno votes aye. Delegate Archon is excused. Delegate Taylor. Delegate Taylor votes aye. Delegate Simpson. Delegate Simpson votes aye. Delegate Mangione. Delegate Mangione votes aye. Delegate Moon. Delegate Moon votes aye. Delegate Delegate Conaway. Delegate Conaway votes aye. Delegate Woods. Delegate Woods is excused. Delegate Williams. Delegate Williams votes aye. The tally is 16-0021. The motion carries.
Thank you. We're going to move on to House Bill 634. We have an amendment.
Move the amendment.
Is there a second on? Thank you. So let's talk about what the amendment does. Claire, if you don't mind. Yeah, it's coming.
The amendment adds training regarding individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities to the bill's requirements.
Thank you. So amongst all the other training that is required, we are adding training regarding individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Dementia and autism was already included in the bill. This is a great bill. Does anybody have any questions, thoughts, concerns? Delegate Valentine.
Just a quick question about, I know dementias and autism are self-explanatory, but how do we define what an intellectual or developmental disability is? Is that defined in here? Is it, or somewhere in code? It's defined in code? Okay, yes, okay, thank you, thank you.
Thank you for that question. Are there any other questions, thoughts, concerns? All right, seeing none. On the amendment, all in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, looks like it's unanimous. The amendment passes. On the bill as amended.
Move favorable as amended.
Second.
Okay. I'm gonna need more energy, y'all. I'm just gonna need more energy. Thank you.
Move favorable as amended. Second.
All right, thank you. That's better. I know it's Friday the 13th. We have to, yes. Okay, so on the bill as amended, are there any questions, thoughts, or concerns? And if you want to add your name on this bill, where we already have a lot of people, please let us know at the time of your vote. Is that okay? Okay. All right, do we have any thoughts, concerns? Yes, Delegate Concole.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just have a question. What is if you could remind me what the rationale is for increasing the retirement age from 70 to 73?
No, we're not quite there yet.
Okay, sorry.
Yep. No worries, no worries. We're on 634. Right? Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay, we're still on 634. We amended it. We passed the amendment. We're on the bill as amended. And now we're getting ready to take the roll. Okay. It was all that fun we were having a minute ago. That's what messed you up. Sorry about that. Okay, please take the roll.
House Bill 634, Delegate Kaufman, Police Training, Autism, and Dementia, Lead Act of 2026. The Vice Chair. Vice Chair votes aye. Delegate Valentine. Delegate Valentine votes aye. Delegate Embry. Delegate Embry votes aye. Delegate Cardin. Delegate Cardin votes aye and adds. Delegate Phillips. Delegate Phillips votes aye and adds. Delegate Congolo. Delegate Congolo votes yes. Delegate Stinnett. Delegate Stinnett votes yes and add. Delegate Simmons. Delegate Simmons votes yes and add. Delegate Boucher is absent. Delegate McComas. Delegate McComas is a yes and an add. Delegate Moreno.
Yes and an add.
Delegate Moreno is a yes and an add. Delegate Aracon is not here to Aracon, but she is excused. Delegate Taylor.
Yes.
Delegate Taylor is a yes. Delegate Simpson.
Yes.
Delegate Simpson is a yes and an Aracon. Delegate Mangione. Delegate Mangione is a yes. And Delegate Moon. Delegate Moon is a yes and an add. Delegate Conaway. Delegate Conaway is a yes and an add. Delegate Woods is excused. Delegate Williams.
Yes, and I'm already on the bill, so I don't need to add.
All right. The tally is 16-0021. The motion carries.
$638, I'm going to hold it. I'm going to hold it. Yeah. And then we're going to talk about it. Yeah. Okay, so we're holding that one. Right.
There is a method to the chair's matter.
That's right. Okay, we're gonna move on to House Bill 688. This is Delegate Simpson on the, okay. There's a motion for favorable and a second. I do not believe there are any amendments on this bill. Okay. So, do we have any thoughts, concerns, or criticisms? Seeing none, we're going to move, please call the roll.
House Bill 680.
Hold on 1 second. Just want to make sure everybody's on the right page. Hold on one. Thank you.
House Bill 688, Delegate Simpson, intercepted communications penalty. The Vice Chair. The Vice Chair votes aye. Delegate Valentine. Delegate Valentine votes no. Delegate Embry. Delegate Embry votes aye. Delegate Cardin. Delegate Cardin votes aye. Delegate Phillips. Delegate Phillips votes aye. Delegate Congolo. Delegate Congolo votes no. Delegate Stinnett. Delegate Stinnett votes aye. Delegate Simmons. Delegate Simmons votes aye. Delegate Boucher is absent. Delegate McComas. Delegate McComas votes no. Delegate Moreno. Delegate Moreno votes aye. Delegate Arcon is excused. Delegate Taylor. Delegate Taylor votes aye. Delegate Simpson. Delegate Simpson votes aye. Delegate Mangione. Delegate Mangione votes no. Delegate Moon. Delegate Moon votes aye. Delegate Conaway. Delegate Conaway votes aye. Delegate Woods is excused. Delegate Williams. Delegate Williams votes aye. The tally is 12-4-0-2-1. The motion carries.
Thank you. Now we're going to move to House Bill 750. There is an amendment.
Move the amendment.
Is there a second on the, thank you. So it has been moved and second on the amendment. Let's talk about what the amendment does. And this is Claire. Just one moment, please.
The amendment rewords the prohibition and relocates it under the subtitle on disturbing the peace and disorderly conduct. This would conform the bill to the Senate cross-file.
And the sponsor has been advised, and the sponsor is actually offering this amendment, just to let you all know. And the Senate bill has passed. With this amendment, that's right. That's right, all those things are important. So on House Bill 750, on the amendment for House Bill 750, does anyone have any thoughts, concerns, questions, criticisms? Delegate Valentine.
I just wanted to verify the vote in the Senate was unanimous as well.
Great. Anyone else have any thoughts, concerns? Okay, so we're going to, on the amendment, Please, I have a show of hands if you are in favor of the amendment. Delegate Moreno and Delegate McComas, are you all in favor of the amendment? Yes. Okay, thank you. Okay. I believe that was unanimous. So now we're going to move on to the bill as amended. Is there a motion?
Move favorable.
Second.
All right, on the bill as amended, are there any questions, thoughts, concerns, criticisms? All right, seeing none, please take the roll.
House Bill 750, Delegate Rosenberg, Criminal Law, Interference with Access to or Egress from a Religious Facility, Prohibition. The Vice Chair. The Vice Chair votes aye. Delegate Valentine. Delegate Valentine votes aye. Delegate Embry. Delegate Embry votes aye. Delegate Cardin. Delegate Cardin votes aye. Delegate Phillips. Delegate Phillips votes aye. Delegate Congolo. Delegate Congolo votes aye. Delegate Stinnett. Delegate Stinnett votes aye. Delegate Simmons. Delegate Simmons votes aye and add. And Boucher is excused, he is absent. I apologize, Delegate McComas. Yes, Delegate McComas votes aye. Delegate Moreno. Delegate Moreno votes aye. Delegate Archon is excused. Delegate Taylor. Delegate Taylor votes aye. Delegate Simpson. Delegate Simpson votes aye. Delegate Mangione. Delegate Mangione votes aye. Delegate Moon. Delegate Moon votes aye. Delegate Conaway. Delegate Conaway votes aye and add. Delegate Woods is excused. Delegate Williams. Delegate Williams votes yes and add. The final tally is 16-0021. The motion carries.
This time of year, of session is a major challenge, and we're here for it. On House Bill 752, I'm not sure we have the amendments yet. Okay, so we're going to hold that one. On House Bill 776, I'm sorry? Hold on. No, we don't.
It wasn't in the packet.
We do not have House Bill 752 amendments. And if you see them, please let me know. In the meantime, I'm going to House Bill 776. And, okay, there's a motion to, a favorable motion and a second. Are there any questions, concerns, thoughts, or criticisms? Hold on one second. Okay, I'm not seeing any indication of any questions, thoughts, or concerns on House Bill 776. Delegate Ruff, that's what we're working on right now. House Bill 776, Delegate Ruff. Can I get a summary of that bill? Sure, just one second.
And this would require a child under the age of 10, if they were involved in a crime with a gun, to undergo, have to be mandated to child in need of supervision.
Okay, thank you.
Did you have any?
So it's just a mechanism to trigger a sentence?
Yes. And it resulted from, if you recall, Nicola Estrada was shot by, yeah.
Okay, Lauren, can you just add a little bit more amplification to the?
I mean, it's under 13 and resulting in the death of the victim. Right. It's not just for gun crimes. It's not only for gun crimes, just a little.
So it's not only for gun crimes, it's in resulting in a death and the child is under 13.
Right.
So what is it for? It's not just only for gun.
It's for any act by a child younger than 13 that results in the death of the victim. Then Department of Juvenile Services must file a child in need of supervision petition.
Okay, is that clear to everyone?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, we're going to, I have a note in here. Well, I'll tell you after we vote what my note says. Could you please call the roll?
House Bill 776, Delegate Ruff, Juvenile Law, Child in Need of Supervision, Mandatory Petition, Nicola Estrada Memorial Act. The Vice Chair. The Vice Chair votes aye. Delegate Valentine. Delegate Valentine votes aye. Delegate Embry. Delegate Embry votes aye. Delegate Cardin. Delegate Cardin votes aye. Delegate Phillips. Delegate Phillips votes aye. Delegate Congolo. Delegate Congolo votes aye. Delegate Stinnett. Delegate Stinnett votes aye. Delegate Simmons. Delegate Simmons votes aye. Delegate Boucher is absent. Delegate McComas. Delegate McComas votes yes. Delegate Moreno. Delegate Moreno votes yes. Delegate Archon is excused. Delegate Taylor. Delegate Taylor votes yes. Delegate Simpson. Delegate Simpson votes yes. Delegate Mangione. Delegate Mangione votes yes. Delegate Moon. Delegate Moon votes yes. Delegate Conaway. Delegate Conaway votes yes. Delegate Woods is excused. Delegate Williams. Delegate Williams votes yes. The tally is 16-0021. The motion carries.
Thank you. And on the note that I have here is for the good Senator Jill Carter. Okay, now we're going to track back to House Bill 752. We have the amendment. It came in, I'm sorry? But if you don't have the amendment, then it doesn't count.
For that one was not the correct amendment?
Right, but we have an amendment that came in today at 126. So that's the question. Is that the correct or incorrect?
I never got that. We haven't seen it.
Okay.
I would like a chance to really check it because we
Yep.
want it to conform to the Senate bill. That's the intention of the amendment, is to conform to the
Exactly.
Senate bill.
Okay, so that we can confirm exactly to the Senate bill. Okay, so that we can confirm exactly with the Senate bill, we're going to delay this just a little bit so that we can take care of that. Because there's no point in doing it twice. All right, great. House Bill 860. We have an amendment. Okay, there's a motion on the amendment, and the amendment will do, oh yeah, we talked about this yesterday. Okay, just wanted to clarify, and Claire, I'll let you explain the amendment first, and then I'll clarify the question that we got yesterday.
The amendment does three things. It clarifies that an extension of a petition may not exceed 30 days starting from the date the petition was originally endorsed by the court. Good cause must be shown, and the initial petition's grounds must still exist. The second thing is that they require a court to include the expiration time on the petition in addition to the expiration date. And finally, the amendment authorizes peace officers to act with best practices on how to take an emergency evaluee to an emergency facility and elect to be joined by a mobile crisis team when practicable.
All right, and I just wanted to say on the record, I did check with my crisis response team, award-winning, internationally known. I did check with them, and it was not a problem that it is at the discretion of the peace officer. And furthermore, not every jurisdiction has a crisis response team. So it would not be prudent, it's unfortunate, but it would not be prudent to require them to have a crisis response team or to contact a crisis response team when they do not, in fact, have one. All right, are there any questions on the amendment? Thoughts, concerns, or criticisms? All right, on the amendment, all in favor, please. On the amendment. Okay, looks like it's unanimous. Okay, are there any questions on the bill as amended? Excuse me. Are there any questions, thoughts, concerns? Seeing none, please call the roll.
House Bill 860, Delegate Alston. Petitions for emergency evaluation Arnott and Magruder Memorial Act. The Vice Chair. The Vice Chair votes aye. Delegate Valentine. Delegate Valentine votes aye. Delegate Embry. Delegate Embry votes aye. Delegate Cardin. Delegate Cardin votes aye. Delegate Phillips. Delegate Phillips votes aye. Delegate Congolo. Delegate Congolo votes yes. Delegate Stinnett. Delegate Stinnett votes yes. Delegate Simmons. Delegate Simmons cannot add because it is a health committee bill. Okay. Delegate Boucher is absent. Delegate McComas? Yes. Delegate McComas votes yes. Delegate Moreno?
Yes and no add.
Delegate Moreno is yes and no add. Delegate Arcon is excused. Delegate Taylor? Yes. Delegate Taylor votes yes. Delegate Simpson? Yes. Delegate Simpson votes yes. Delegate Mangione? Delegate Mangione votes yes. Delegate Moon? Delegate Moon votes yes. Delegate Conaway? Delegate Conaway votes yes. Delegate Woods is excused. Delegate Williams?
Yes,
Del-
I wish I could add, but Delegate Austin knows how much I like this.
Delegate Williams votes yes. The tally is 16-0-0-2-1. The motion carries.
Oh, that's so sweet. Okay, we're going to move on to House Bill 1005, Delegate Forbes, and there is an amendment, and the amendment was in the packet. And the amendment that I'm speaking of is amendment number 813723. All right.
Move the amendment.
Okay, thank you. And so with that motion, Lauren, could you explain what the amendment does?
Sure. That must be included in the form to be submitted by a child abuse reporter, and that is any information, if known at the time of the report, regarding whether the individual who is suspected of abuse or neglect currently has access to any children. That's it.
Okay, are there any questions, thoughts, or concerns on the amendment? Delegate McComas?
She can't hear this.
Yeah, we couldn't hear you.
I'm sorry.
And I know Lauren is soft-spoken, so that's why I wasn't going to make you do the mic, but yeah.
Okay, so it just is adding additional information that needs to be included in the form to be submitted by a child abuse reporter. And so specifically, that's any information, if known at the time of the report, regarding whether the individual who is suspected of abuse or neglect currently has access to any children.
Is that a little bit better? A little bit? Okay. Are there any questions, thoughts, concerns? On the amendment, all in favor, please raise your hand. Okay.
Line 10, sorry, page 3.
Page 3, line 10.
So it says the form shall include a document. How can a form include a document?
Yeah. 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 I understand the question, and I understand the answer to be, it could be an attachment. So the form itself is, we say what we have to have in the form, and then they would also give a document to the individual who is subject to the report. So the only example I can come up with is, if you recall with HIPAA, you had to sign it, but you also got a copy of what you were signing. So that's sort of the way it works, in my understanding. So, and it just helps the person who's involved to be, to have the information that they need to have as to how the report will be used. Good question. Any other questions? Okay, so we're going to take that vote again, since there was a question. All in favor of the amendment, please raise your hand. Delegate Woods, you're not ready yet?
Just because I'm not ready.
Right, I understand. Okay, so all opposed, none, and then abstain, one. Okay. Yes, all right, moving right along. On the bill as amended, on House Bill 1005, is there a motion? Is there a second? Okay. Are there any questions, thoughts, or concerns, or phone calls? All right. Seeing none, we're going to go ahead and call the roll, please.
House Bill 1005, Delegate Forbes, Child Abuse and Neglect Reporting Survivor Reporting Reform Act, the Vice Chair. Vice Chair votes aye. Delegate Valentine. Delegate Valentine votes aye. Delegate Embry. Delegate Embry votes aye. Delegate Cardin. Delegate Cardin votes yes and an add. Delegate Phillips. Delegate Phillips votes yes and an add. Delegate Congolo. Delegate Congolo votes yes. Delegate Stinnett. Delegate Stinnett votes yes and an add. Delegate Simmons. Delegate Simmons votes yes and an add. Delegate Boucher is absent. Delegate McComas. Delegate McComas votes yes and an add. Delegate Moreno. Delegate Moreno votes yes and an add. Delegate Aricon is excused. Delegate Taylor. Delegate Taylor votes yes. Delegate Simpson. Delegate Simpson votes yes and an add. Delegate Mangione. Delegate Mangione votes yes. Delegate Moon. Delegate Moon votes yes. Delegate Conaway. Delegate Conaway votes yes and an add. For the record, he said Simmons. Delegate Woods. Delegate Woods voting yes and an add. Delegate Williams. Delegate Williams votes yes. The tally is 16-0011. Motion carries.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to move now to Delegate Embry, House Bill 1105. I do not have any indication of an amendment. There is an amendment. Oh, okay, it doesn't, okay. The amendment is in the file, just for the record. Dylan did put the amendment in the file. Yes.
I believe the amendment in the packet is not the correct amendment. I mean, it's Delegate Cardin's amendment, but the amendment I proposed, I did distribute. I don't know if it's in the file. It was not in the packet.
Okay, so if
But I can describe it.
Well,
No.
okay, hold on one second. So you have an amendment, but the members have or have not received it?
They've received it, but it's not in the packet.
Right, so can you let the members know some indication of where they could look?
Yes, it was
So
an
like time
email
or something?
sent, and the amendment number is 573926.
Okay, just give us 1 second to find that, please.
Yep. And I can resend it also.
Okay, is this the one that was sent at,
I don't have. He might have one.
okay, Delegate Embry, is this the one that was sent at 11:21 a.m. today?
I believe so. Is it 573926?
I believe so. It is 573926. So,
Yes.
members, do you see that amendment in your email? I'm not hearing anything, so I'm assuming you all see it and you're reading it. Okay.
573926. Yours.
Okay, so we have
Yours is
two
in the
amendments.
packet.
One amendment, the Embry amendment is 573926. The amendment that was in part of the that was in the packet is 313625. Now, here's my question before we talk about the amendment. Given the order of the amendments, which makes sense to speak on first, Delegate Embry?
One is a sponsor amendment, one is strongly opposed by the sponsor, so I will let the Madam Chair decide.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, let's go over the sponsor. Okay, we'll do the sponsor amendment first. Okay, we're going to do the sponsor amendment, and that is Amendment 573926, please.
Thank you. If I may describe it, it's very brief. It amends the bill so that it only applies to civil causes of action. So criminal is stripped out. So the extension of the statute of limitations will only apply to civil causes of action. So criminal causes of action are rare in this field, and so they will have to just deal with the 1 year for criminal. So it does not change the 1 year for criminal and only applies to civil actions, enforcement actions.
Which was in the original.
And that was brought because of the strong advocacy of Delegate Cardin and questions raised during the hearing.
And at the amendment.
Thank you.
I think it actually, we're not, the city is okay with it.
The city is, yes, I've spoken with the city and they can live with it. Happy to make the compromise.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, do we have any questions on the sponsor amendment? Seeing none. This is a quandary for me. Let's, yeah, I'm not going to do roll call. I was just going to do a show of hands, please. A show of hands on sponsor's amendment. Put your hand down. Just give me one moment, please. Okay, so I took a moment, but I thought that was unanimous on the amendment? Okay, all right, so now we're on the bill as amended. But hold on, I just need to make sure. So we have a second amendment, and you're
I'm going to describe the amendment.
okay. You know what, I have been a judge all day today. It's been really interesting.
Oh, hello. I can't talk right now.
Okay.
I can't talk right now. Micah got a ride home. So she's going to go with a friend for a few hours. And we'll talk. Okay, bye. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Parent life.
It's okay. Now, I will say, let me just say this much. It is okay because if we can take time out for our women to have babies on the floor and have young people on the floor, it's all right to take a call from your children. And it is always all right to take a call from your children. I don't care what's going on.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. A lot of love.
Okay.
Matt?
All right. With that said, Delegate Cardin.
In your packet, you have an amendment that I had drafted based on questions that I asked and concerns that I had regarding the statute of limitations and there being some uncertainty if you have the known or should have known language because it could extend it indefinitely, which was admitted by the sponsor, that if they didn't know or they didn't know that there was some sort of violation going on until 10 or 15 years after the violation, then they find out, then in theory, the statute of limitations would toll until that time, and then they would have 3 years after that time that they should have known. That concerned me because it creates uncertainty and instability. So my amendment would remove the knew or should have known and just said 3 years from the date of the infraction. The reason to do it, again, is to create consistency, to make sure it's the way it was originally drafted back in 2024, I think, when Delegate Embry originally put it in. It establishes the 3-year statute of limitations, as does pretty much all other parts of the code. Here's the research that I did. Establishing a standard 3-year limitation that begins at the time that the act was committed would align the law with the vast majority of their statutes and limitations set forth in Courts and Judicial Proceedings 5106. And this would basically take that out of that. I thought that was the appropriate way to do it. I understand that this is very important and it's very difficult sometimes to be able to bring an action. And because we've gotten rid of the criminal penalties, and I don't necessarily want to hinder my great city of Baltimore. I'm putting it out there as a thought to maybe think about in the Senate, but I'm going to withdraw the amendment. And I didn't tell her that, so she's surprised.
There's nothing like a good, happy surprise. All righty. So we have voted out the amendment, the sponsor amendment. So on the bill as amended, is there a motion? Excuse me, we have a motion on the bill as amended, favorable. Please call the roll.
House Bill 1105, Delegate Embry, Statute of Limitations, Prosecution or Enforcement of Local Consumer Protection Codes. The Vice Chair. The Vice Chair votes aye. Delegate Valentine. Delegate Valentine votes aye. Delegate Embry. Delegate Embry votes aye. Delegate Cardin. Delegate Cardin votes aye. Delegate Phillips. Delegate Phillips votes aye. Delegate Congolo. Delegate Congolo votes aye. Delegate Stinnett. Delegate Stinnett votes aye. Delegate Simmons. Delegate Simmons votes aye. Delegate Boucher is absent. Delegate McComas. Delegate McComas votes aye. Delegate Moreno. Delegate Moreno votes aye. Delegate Arcon is excused. Delegate Taylor. Delegate Taylor votes aye. Delegate Simpson. Delegate Simpson votes aye. Delegate Mangione. Delegate Mangione votes no. Delegate Moon. Delegate Moon votes yes. Delegate Conaway. Delegate Conaway votes yes and add. Delegate Woods. Delegate Woods votes yes. Delegate Williams. Delegate Williams votes yes and an add. The final tally is 16 to 1, 0, 1, 1. Motion carries.
Okay, I won't even ask if anybody else wanted to add because that'll slow things down. Moving right along. House Bill 1152. This is Delegate Williams. Move favor. Okay, I heard a motion for favorable. And there's a second. This is a study bill. Okay, so this is just a study. And my understanding is there are no amendments.
There's no amendment.
All right, so we have a motion.
Study, not a work group.
It's a study, not a work group. So we have a motion on the bill, favorable. Are there any questions, comments, thoughts, other than whether or not it's a study or a work group, or concerns? All right, seeing none, please call the roll.
House Bill 1152, Delegate Williams, Department of State Police Special Police Officers Study. The Vice Chair. The Vice Chair votes aye. Delegate Valentine. Delegate Valentine votes aye. Delegate Embry. Delegate Embry votes aye. Delegate Cardin. Delegate Cardin votes aye. Delegate Phillips. Delegate Phillips votes aye. Delegate Congolo. Delegate Congolo votes aye. Delegate Stinnett. Delegate Stinnett votes aye. Delegate Simmons. Delegate Simmons votes yes. Delegate Boucher is absent. Delegate McComas. Delegate McComas votes aye. Delegate Moreno. Delegate Moreno votes aye. Delegate Arcon is excused. Delegate Taylor. Delegate Taylor votes aye. Delegate Simpson. Delegate Simpson votes aye. Delegate Mangione. Delegate Mangione votes aye. Delegate Moon. Delegate Moon votes aye. Delegate Conaway. Delegate Conaway votes aye. Delegate Woods. Delegate Woods votes aye. Delegate Williams. Delegate Williams votes aye. The tally is 17-0011. The motion carries.
Thank you. We're going to move on to Delegate Acevero, House Bill 1272. There is an amendment, and I believe you all, you have it. I can't tell you exactly what day it was sent, but you do have it. And given what I just said, please excuse me for 1 second. Thank you. So there is an amendment. The amendment is amendment number 853726, and Lauren will explain.
Okay, the amendments add clarifying language and some additional criteria for local Department of Social Services to consider when determining whether to approve an individual as a kinship caregiver. And those three new criteria are whether there have been previous or current allegations of abuse or neglect alleged against the individual by the child's parent, or another relative of the child, the individual's willingness to abide by court orders, and the individual's willingness to cooperate with the child's parents and to facilitate contact as ordered by the court and guided by the safety plan.
And which group? So it looks like we have questions. Delegate Cardin?
Just want to, so there, it looks like the department was favorable with amendments. Does this satisfy their concerns? It doesn't?
It's a different, right.
Right, so we're not, it looks like the department wanted to change from shall to may. We're not making that change.
They're more in line.
This is more in line with the public defender's amendments.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Thoughts, concerns? Okay, seeing none. On the amendment, we had a motion and all in favor, I'm sorry, Delegate Moon, Leader Moon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Sorry, so just on the amendment, you said this is an OPD amendment?
It's in line with what they testified to.
Got it. And I guess the only question I have is as to the allegations against the child, parent, or another relative of the child section. Yeah, sorry, I'm just looking at clause 7, Roman numeral VII, and whether there's a purpose to it being an allegation as to a specific individual, as compared to there just being allegations generally. Does that make sense? Like we could stop it before the word by.
Okay, one moment, please.
Kinship, right?
I say this only years ago, we had a bill about custody and deaths of children that were in your custody or you had access to, right? There was actually there was a functional difference in how we split the hair on that. So I'm just seeing it in a similar context here.
Let's just make sure I understand what your concern is. And hold on, Delegate McComas?
I was looking at the Office of Public Defender's requested language, and it seems pretty good to me, spells it out.
Okay, hold on one second. Let's go back to what Delegate Moon is pointing out. Can you tell me where you are, Delegate Moon? I just want to make sure.
I'm just looking at we're on the amendment that,
You're on the amendment?
yeah.
And you're at the language where it says the individual's willingness to abide by court orders, that part?
Yeah,
Okay.
whether there have been previous or current allegations of abuse or neglect against the individual by the child's parents, or another relative.
Oh, so you're in, if there were, if it was completely somebody different, but that's still related, is that where you're going?
What?
Saying, why would it just be the
Yeah, I guess that is
and
the
not
question.
in general? Like.
Okay, so whether or not there had been any.
They could be,
Against the individual, and then.
they could be
period.
parent to another kid,
Right, okay.
and there's a registered problem or flag.
Well, okay, so here's my question, and Lauren can help me with this one, but wouldn't that person already, because this is only focused on kinship care.
No, that's.
So this is, but this is only focused on kinship care. Isn't there already some requirements that happen for a person who takes a child under their care, like in foster care or anything like that?
I don't know. I confess that, this is just me catching a last minute look at the language
Yep,
and
I
not
got you.
having any deeper knowledge.
I got you. Delegate Simpson, can you
Yeah,
do your
so
mic?
last
Can you
year-
use your mic?
Yes. So last year, it became a little bit more lax, because that's what the department came in with for kinship care. I would agree, I do think it's a friendly committee amendment. I do think we need to strike that last part. I mean, obviously, I think everyone would agree, if they have these allegations against them and the department would have that, it wouldn't matter if it's somebody within the home or these individuals. It's, in general, we wouldn't want a child to be with someone
who had an indicated finding of abuse or neglect.
But this is not an indicated filing. This is the only reason why I'm pushing back on this is because it's not an indicated filing. This is an allegation.
But it's
And so you're
still-
trying to bring I thought you were trying to bring the kid into kinship care. And so what we're looking at are the folks that would be people who would be eligible for kinship care. And so the folks that would be eligible for kinship care are the relatives of the child, right? And so what they're saying in the amendment is that there hasn't, whether, they're saying if there has been an allegation or abuse or neglect against that person who's trying to get kinship, be eligible for kinship care, that's what we're looking at. We're not looking at the whole pocket of people who could be a care provider for the child. We're looking at only a pocket of people, and that's the people who would be eligible for kinship care to begin with. And those people are only going to be relatives of the child, right?
Maybe I'm reading.
That's not what we're that's not the same. That's not where we're at. We're saying whether there have been previous or current allegations of abuse or neglect alleged against the individual. So the person being considered for
kinship
care.
Yes.
Whether or not they had had previous or current allegations of abuse or neglect.
Yes.
Against them.
Right. And that's the only pocket of people we're talking about is the person that is eligible for kinship care. That's the only pocket. So we don't want to make the pocket too big to say any individual, because we're not looking at any individual in this particular section of the code. We're only looking at people who are eligible for kinship care.
Yeah, but we're not taking it, we're just talking about taking out the qualifier at the end, by the child, the child's parents or another relative. We're still only looking at that group.
So you're saying, because my only concern is that we're talking allegations.
I agree with you there too.
So we're talking allegations by somebody else. So a neighbor could make an allegation against my Auntie B, Aunt B, and say, no, she should not have this child, and now I can't have access to my own relative.
No, I think they're talking about abuse or neglect. So it would either be there have been previous founded or current allegations, which means that.
Wait, are you saying that's in the bill?
We're looking at the amendment.
I'm looking at the amendment. Wait, let's make sure we're talking about the same amendment. I'm looking at 853726.
Yes.
And it says where there have been previous or current allegations of abuse. I don't see findings.
I don't either. That's what I'm
okay,
saying.
okay.
If we made it instead been previous findings or current allegations, so then you would have only. It's not just that there had been allegations previous. The current would only be on the allegations, right? If they're under a current investigation, you wouldn't want the child with them. And if there had been prior findings, you wouldn't want the child with them.
Hold on one moment, please.
Looking at the whole reprint.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand, because what council just pointed out is that in the regulations, there's already, and you know this, there's already a ton of, not a ton, but there are already requirements for someone to even qualify for kinship care. So that premise is there. What I need to understand, Delegate Moon, is at Section 7, you're saying that your concern is that the only allegations that would be considered are those by the child's parent, or another relative of the child. Is that correct?
That's correct, Madam Chair. Just so the way I'm reading this if you have a parent with their own kids, and there is a current allegation from their own child that they are being abused by that parent can now go apply for kinship care for a different child. But the only allegation that we care about is one that the child that needs care is making, not the one from the person currently being abused.
Just 1 second, please.
And it could be that that's screened out earlier in
Right,
the
that's what-
process,
that's what she's
but
gonna-
again, I just don't know.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at right now, to see if it's already screened out in the regulations.
But isn't that addressed by the other or another relative of the
That's
child?
what I was thinking.
It's still a relative.
If you have, again, the cases we've had in the past in this committee, they were unrelated kids, baby mama situation, right? You have, you might have two kids that aren't
Okay.
related, but there's abuse against one.
Remember the scenario of okay, to be clear, remember that was kind of the whole reason for the juvenile bill was a young man who had abused a relative, but then went to another home and they did not know that it had occurred because it was a child abuse case. And when the child was moved, no one notified anyone. DHS said, okay, it's taken care of. That child is no longer in the home, so they're not abusing this child, case closed. That child went and lived with the father. Then the father got in contact with another relative and abused another relative. And that
Okay.
would not be covered in this scenario.
Okay, so here, let me just, okay.
Does that make sense?
Let's continue with this conversation just for a second, and then if we can't flush it out, then we'll just hold it. But the regulations already, in order to get kinship care, you already are, they already go through Child Protective Services records. So if there is an allegation or an allegation, a finding, or a previous allegation of abuse or neglect, Child Protective Services would already have that information. So that information, I think your concern is being addressed, Delegate Moon, in the sense that, do you mind, Lauren?
Is that clause necessary at all then, with
Well,
that
that's where-
information?
That's
Yeah.
exactly what we were thinking.
Okay, thank you.
Is something weird going on?
Can hear us.
There we go. Okay, so the question is now whether or not we should just take that section out altogether, and we may do that. I'd like to just check with the sponsor to find out why it was there, and if it's not, and once I explain this discussion to the sponsor, if they want to take it out, we can take it out. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Okay. Any other questions? All right. So we're going to hold House Bill 1272 to give me time to ask the sponsor if we can amend, is it amendment of the amendment?
Yeah, we could just strike out.
If we can strike out that one section. Okay. As unnecessary. All right, now we're going to move on over, hold on 1 second. All right, we're going to hold 1290. All right, and we're going to hold 1309. We're going to go to 1320. Oh, shoot, I'm sorry. You can have that.
Okay, thank you.
Hold on 1 second, I got to do a little house cleaning here. Okay, Delegate Rosenberg, I do not see an amendment on this bill. Hopefully, we do not have an amendment. 1320. Okay. So happy you asked. You don't have to move. Claire will explain what House Bill 1320 does.
The bill requires a prosecuting attorney, a law enforcement officer, and district court commissioner to inform a victim or victim's representative of the ability to request notification through the MDEC system of a defendant's custody status and court hearings. If a law enforcement officer receives a request, the officer must provide the request to the commissioner at the time of charging. The commissioner must enter that request into MDEC. After the commissioner enters the request into MDEC, the state's Vine vendor must notify the victim or victim's representative of the defendant's release by the commissioner, other release from custody, and scheduled court hearings. A prosecuting attorney must inform the victim of the ability to receive information regarding a defendant's custody status and court hearings within 10 days after the filing of criminal information in district court. And the bill also requires a victim or victim's representative's telephone number to be kept confidential.
Any follow-up questions, Delegate Phillips?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, are there any other, Delegate Conaway?
Chair, my question is, will this information be public?
It's my understanding that the Vine is not public.
The what?
Victim information and notification every day. Vine is not public information. The MDEC information could, in theory, be public because it is accessible if you pay a fine. I just need me to pay a fee. Would you
Yeah.
Okay.
But in order to access those kinds of records in MDEC, I think you need to be an attorney.
Right.
Or a party.
Yeah, a party or an attorney. But that means that anybody can get those records. I mean, it's not like you have to state your reason, right?
No,
Any
I'm just thinking,
attorney.
like, if when I go on MDEC and pull up a case number to look up, I can look up, now, there are certain things that are shielded that you can't see, but.
You can look up any case.
As attorney.
Yeah. And you can get a copy of those records unless it's sealed or shielded.
And then so
Okay, hold on one second.
and then so the notification and the time and all of this there which you're supposed to, whatever the person's going to be notified of, that'll be in the computer record.
Well, I'm not sure I understand the question. Say that again?
The bill's not changing any public information.
No? Okay,
No.
fine.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay, thank you. Delegate Embry?
I was just going to say, if you read on the bottom of page 3 through page 4, it describes all the protections that exist for protecting the victim's information if they want notification, and that, as Claire said, doesn't change.
And it's all existing language. I mean, existing statute language. Okay. Good. Okay. All right. That was a good question, though, because it made me think through the answer. Are there any other questions? Thoughts, concerns? All right. Seeing none. On House Bill 320, please call the roll.
House Bill 1320, Delegate Rosenberg, Criminal Procedure, Victim Notification Request at the Time of Charging. The Vice Chair. The Vice Chair votes aye. Delegate Valentine. Delegate Valentine votes aye. Delegate Embry. Delegate Embry votes aye. Delegate Cardin. Delegate Cardin votes aye. Delegate Phillips. Delegate Phillips votes aye. Delegate Congolo. Delegate Congolo votes aye. Delegate Stinnett. Delegate Stinnett votes aye. Delegate Simmons. Delegate Simmons votes aye. Delegate Boucher is absent. Delegate McComas. Delegate McComas votes aye. Delegate Moreno. Delegate Moreno votes aye. Delegate Archon is excused. Delegate Taylor. Delegate Simpson. Delegate Simpson votes aye. Delegate Mangione. Delegate Mangione votes aye. Delegate Moon. Delegate Moon votes aye. Delegate Conaway. Delegate Conaway votes aye. Delegate Woods. Delegate Woods votes aye. Delegate Williams. Delegate Williams votes aye. Giving a second for Delegate Taylor. Delegate Taylor is excused. The tally is 16-0-0-2-1. The motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Our last bill, Delegate Embry, House Bill 1348, human trafficking reports to regional navigators and prosecutions authorization. Delegate Embry, do you want to give us a quick summary on what the bill does?
Fully, thank you. The primary reason for the bill is to allow notification by mandatory reporters to the regional navigators so that they can support the victims of human trafficking. And we heard testimony about how great those regional navigators are that we set up. And then it also authorizes the Attorney General to prosecute labor trafficking, sexual human trafficking, just as they have authority to do labor trafficking. They already do these cases through a governor's authorization letter, but this would put it in statute.
Okay, very good. Any questions? All right, seeing none, please call the roll for House Bill 1348.
House Bill 1348, Delegate Embry, Human Trafficking Reports to Regional Navigators and Prosecutions Authorization. The Vice Chair. The Vice Chair votes aye. Delegate Valentine. Delegate Valentine votes aye. Delegate Embry. Delegate Embry votes aye. Delegate Cardin. Delegate Cardin votes aye. Delegate Phillips. Delegate Phillips votes aye. Delegate Congolo. Delegate Congolo votes aye. Delegate Stinnett. Delegate Stinnett votes aye. Delegate Simmons. Delegate Simmons votes aye. Delegate Boucher is absent. Delegate McComas. Delegate McComas votes aye. Delegate Moreno. Delegate Moreno votes aye, and you cannot add because the bill is not amended. Delegate Aricon is excused. Delegate Taylor. Delegate Taylor votes aye. Delegate Simpson. Delegate Simpson votes aye. Delegate Mangione. Delegate Mangione votes aye. Delegate Moon. Delegate Moon votes aye. Delegate Conaway. Delegate Conaway votes aye. Delegate Woods. Delegate Woods votes aye. Delegate Williams. Delegate Williams votes aye. The tally is 17-0-0-1-1. The motion carries.
Okay, Delegate Cardin, and then I have a couple of things. We've got to get some housekeeping.
I'm just wondering if we can, is there a reason why we can't go back to 638? Are we holding that for another day? House Bill 638?
638, we're holding it.
Punishing me for my.
I'm not, by no means am I punishing you. House Bill 638, there was an inquiry on House Bill 638, and I don't have the answer yet, so I would like to get that answer, and then we can move it.
Okay.
Okay? Hold on one second. So, members, do we have any objection, and Delegate Woods, do you have any interest in having your vote recorded on some of the bills that you were absent on because you were in another committee? You would like to have that? Do you, members, do we have any objection to that?
No objection.
Okay, so I don't know all the bills where she wasn't here. I'm sorry.
She came back, Matters 187. She came.
Hold on one second, hold on. Let's get, we'll get Hunter, okay. Yeah, okay, Delegate. Okay.
Okay, so 860 I. 776 I.
We held 752.
Okay. I can go through the bills and ask Delegate Woods how she will
Okay,
vote.
all right, so members, okay, hold on one second. So members, given that you all have consented for Delegate Woods to record her vote, we'll do that in just a second, so we won't have to hold you all up. We are having our okay, I'll let the subcommittee chairs announce when they're meeting, please. Delegate Taylor.
I apologize. I missed the vote on House Bill 1320, and I'd like to be recorded as aye.
Delegate 20, hi 20. We're in Stranger Things.
Okay. Delegate Taylor, do you have an announcement for yourself?
I do. The Property and Casualty Insurance Subcommittee will meet at 5 o'clock.
Okay. All right. She only has one bill. And what time did you give?
5 o'clock.
Okay, great. Crim law at 5:30. I have to open the vote session for 1 second because I have been advised that and I'd like to call up House Bill 752, Delegate Tolles, Crim law, theft and fraud crimes, forgery of gift cards. The bill, I have been advised that it conforms with the Senate bill. So the amendment conforms with the Senate amendments. House Bill 752. We're going to vote on House Bill 752. Okay. And I have an amendment, I have a motion on the amendment favorable and a second. Do we need a minute to go through what the amendment does? Yes, please.
The amendment just alters the determination of the value of a gift card for purposes of the bill.
Thank you. And this amendment was sent around. So, are there any questions on the amendment? Seeing none, all in favor, please raise your hand. All right, looks unanimous. Thank you. On the bill as amended. Is there? Second. Okay. So, are there any questions? Seeing none, please take the roll on the bill as amended.
House Bill 752, Delegate Tolles, criminal law, theft and fraud crimes, valuation and forgery of gift cards. The Vice Chair. The Vice Chair votes aye. Delegate Valentine. Delegate Valentine votes yes and an add. Delegate Embry. Delegate Embry votes aye. Delegate Cardin. Delegate Cardin votes aye. Delegate Phillips. Delegate Phillips votes yes and an add if he's not already on there. Delegate Congolo. Delegate Congolo votes yes. Delegate Stinnett. Delegate Stinnett votes yes. Delegate Simmons. Delegate Simmons votes yes and an add. Delegate Boucher is absent. Delegate McComas. Delegate McComas votes yes and an add. Delegate Moreno. Delegate Moreno votes yes and an add. Delegate Archon is excused. Delegate Taylor. Delegate Taylor votes yes and an add. Delegate Simpson. Delegate Simpson votes yes. Delegate Mangione. Delegate Mangione votes yes. Delegate Moon. Delegate Moon votes yes. Delegate Conaway. Delegate Conaway votes yes and an add. Delegate Woods. Delegate Woods votes yes and an add. Delegate Williams. Delegate Williams votes yes. The tally is 17-0011. The motion carries.
Great. All right. Members, you have your subcommittee assignment times, and we have finished our voting. Thank you so much. Enjoy your weekend.